They thought the river had taken Nekm forever. But 3 nights after her disappearance, something strange happened. A girl in the same village went to the river at night and came back speaking Nekem's name, not crying, not afraid, smiling. And that was the first sign that the river had not finished, because what was taken was not gone. It was waiting. Stay with this story till the end, because the river is not done with Nkem, and it may never be done with any of them. After Nkem disappeared, life in the village slowly returned to a strange kind of normal. People stopped talking about her at first. Then they started avoiding the river even more than before. But fear has a way of growing quietly. Her mother, Adez, changed completely. She no longer spoke to people. She no longer went to the market. She would sit outside their hut every night, staring toward the river as if waiting for something to return. Some villagers said she had lost her mind. Others said she was still hearing her daughter's voice. But what they did not know was that strange things had already started happening again. 3 days after Nekm disappeared, a fisherman reported hearing footsteps inside the river at night. 2 days later, a child claimed she saw a girl with glowing skin standing at the riverbank. Nobody believed her. Until the next event, a girl named Urena went missing for a few hours. When she returned, she was not the same. She walked calmly into the village, sat beside the elders, and said only one thing: Nekm is not gone. Then she smiled and walked away. That was when fear returned fully. The elders gathered again. This time they were not confused. They were worried. The river had never behaved like this before. It took. It stayed silent. It did not return what it took. But now something was different. It was communicating. That night, the oldest man in the village, Ogbuefi, made a decision. He said, if the river is calling people, then something inside it is still active. We must find out what Nkem triggered. So they went to the river again. But what they found changed everything. The river looked normal during the day, but no one trusted it anymore. Ogbuefi stood at the edge, with 2 elders behind him. He held a carved wooden staff and spoke slowly. River spirit, if you hear us, show yourself. At first, nothing happened. Then the water rippled. Slowly, too slowly. Like something was thinking, the elders stepped back. The water began to darken, not dirty, not muddy, but darker, like ink spreading. Then suddenly, it stopped, and a sound came, a whisper. Nekm. The elders froze. The water rose slightly. Nekm, Ogbuefi, stepped forward, shaking. What have you done with her? Silence. Then the water shifted again. Not fully, just a reflection. A bracelet, floating, glowing. One elder screamed and stepped back. That is it. That is what took her. But Ogbuefi shook his head. No, it is not the bracelet that is calling. It is what the bracelet belongs to. At that moment, the river surface split slightly, and a voice came clearly. Not loud, not angry, calm. She was chosen. The elders stepped back again. Ogbuefi's eyes widened. Chosen for what? The river did not answer immediately. Then it said, to carry what was broken. That night, fear spread through the village faster than fire. People locked their doors early. Nobody went outside. Even the river paths were avoided completely. But Ogbuefi could not sleep. The voice kept repeating in his mind. She was chosen. Finally, he made a decision. He would return alone. At midnight, he walked to the river. The air was colder than before, the sky darker than usual. He stood at the bank and spoke. If Nekm is alive, return her. If she is not, show us what remains. The water responded immediately. It rose slowly, then formed a shape, a human shape, but not fully formed, just shadows inside water. And then Nkem's voice came, soft, weak. I am here. Ogbuefi's eyes filled with tears. Nekm, what has happened to you? The voice responded, I am not alone. That moment, the water behind the shape began to move violently. Something was behind her. Something deeper. The river was no longer empty. It was occupied. Ogbuefi took a step back. What is inside the river? A pause. Then the answer came. Everything taken must be carried, not near the river, but from their homes. The village panicked. Doors were locked all day. People refused to go outside. But at night, the whispers returned, calling names. One by one, some answered. Some disappeared. Others returned, changed. Like Urena, like Nekm. The elders realized something horrifying. The river was expanding, not physically, but spiritually. It was reaching into the village. Ogbuefi called for a final meeting. He said, this is no longer about Nkem. This is about what she brought back. They decided to perform the cleansing ritual, a forbidden one that had not been used for generations. At the river, they brought sacred objects, drums, charms, herbs, and fire. They began chanting. The river reacted immediately. The water rose violently. The wind screamed. And then Nekem's voice came again, this time louder. Stop. But they continued. The river shook, and something rose from it, not fully human, not fully spirit, a presence. And it said, she is mine. The ritual intensified. The elders shouted louder. The river became chaotic. Lightning flashed across the sky without rain. And then the water split open. A figure stepped out. Nekm, but not as before. Her eyes glowed faintly. The bracelet was no longer just on her wrist. It had spread slightly, like part of her skin. The village froze. Her mother screamed. Nekm. She turned slowly and smiled. But it was not her smile. Something else was behind it. She spoke. You called me back. The elders stepped forward. No, you do not belong here. Nkem tilted her head. I never left. Then she raised her hand. The river behind her moved like a living wall. And voices came from inside it. Many voices. All saying names. All calling back what had been taken. The river was not one spirit anymore. It was many. And Nekm was the bridge. Ogbuefi realized the truth too late. This is not possession. This is connection. And then the river surged forward. The village was never the same again. Some say it disappeared slowly. Others say it still exists, but no one can find it anymore. Ogbuefi was last seen standing at the riverbank speaking to someone no one could see. Nekm was never seen again as herself, but sometimes, at night, the river speaks in many voices, and one of them always sounds like hers. Soft, familiar, waiting, And the elders still say, the river did not take her. It kept her. Because some things are not endings. They are beginnings that never close. The river does not forget. It does not forgive. And sometimes it does not return what it takes. It multiplies.